What's up guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel Masika Reaction. So guys, I want us all to watch about these foreigners who are correcting the people who have those misconceptions about Jamaica. They have been in Jamaica, they have visited Jamaica. So these are their reaction. I want us to all watch. Remember to watch till the end, and I'll be back with few comments.
First question I'm asked every single time somebody is hearing that I live in Jamaica is, how is it living in Jamaica? So how is it living in Jamaica? Let me tell you how. Quick story. Somebody to bring our kids with my car from home and to save us like about an hour drive. Anyways, everything was great at dinner. We finished dinner. We were driving back home at around 9:30, 10 p.m. I was like almost halfway home when I got a phone call from my husband that he's stuck with a car because the tire just exploded. I mean, he cannot use it anymore. It was all torn and ripped, and I don't know what happened, but he couldn't drive anymore. So I made a U-turn and came back. When I reached there was already somebody helping him. Somebody that we don't know, they don't know us, but he was helping. And then we understood that there's nothing to do but to change the wheel. However, we found the jack, but we didn't find that kind of weird screwdriver that's supposed to open all the screws in the wheel. So we couldn't find it, so we said, okay, let's use the one in my car. But for whatever stupid reason, it's not universal, and each car has its own, and you cannot use one from another car. Stupid. Anyway, we decided that I'm gonna leave him and I'm gonna take all the kids back home because they were really exhausted and tired and kind of panicked. He never carries any cash, so I decided to give him whatever cash that I had. It wasn't much, but it was something. I told him, make sure when you finish everything, you pay and you tip that person that is helping you. He said, of course, yeah, sure. I drove back home, but I couldn't get inside the house because I'm afraid of the lizards, but at least we stayed in the car and the kids were sleeping. Anyways, about like 20 minutes, 30 minutes after, he was already texting me that all good. So he stopped somebody that has the same car. Somebody helped him with that screwdriver that he needed. They changed the wheel and everything was great. And he came back home and helped me with carrying the sleeping kids to their beds. And the moral of the story is that Jamaicans will be there for you whenever needed. By the way, that person didn't want to take the cash. Like, he was fighting him, but my husband insisted and gave him the cash because, you know, that's a thank you for helping me in the middle of the road, in the middle of the almost night. This is Jamaican for you guys. That's what it is living in Jamaica.
Hey guys, so it's been about 3 months now since I relocated from the UK and came back to Jamaica. So I thought I would give you guys a bit of an update as to what life has been like and what the transition has been like. So yeah, to start off, I would say the most difficult thing that I've encountered, or the hardest thing to kind of get used to, is the process and the difficulty to do virtually anything in Jamaica. Like, we're coming from a place where, one, most things can be done on your phone. Two, it takes like an hour to a day to complete most business. In Jamaica now, it's completely different, where you have to go to the places physically. It usually involves long lines, long waiting times, and then sometimes it still takes even 2 weeks, a month, and those type of ridiculous times to get things done. It's a bit crazy. So I think that's the most difficult thing, getting used to. However, I feel like everything else is kind of good. I don't really have any complaints. We all know Jamaica expensive, so that is not even something to complain about. So it will definitely get some getting used to know that food is going to be a bit more expensive, and other things like even purchasing cars and stuff out here, way more money. So the Jamaica we left 10 years and 20 years ago, and things say nobody know no money in Jamaica, that is completely different now, because some car where people can buy, you have to wonder, because I like 5 and 10 times the amount we would normally pay for them overseas. So yeah, definitely have to get used to the fact that everything else is more expensive, but just the freedom to be able to go where I want to go. If I feel like getting up today and just going on the beachside, eat some seafood, all them things that like the food as well. Damn, like when you're in England and you know, say if you're one real Jamaican, you're kind of iffy about certain food, especially like English food. So just the ability if you can eat your zinger, your seafood, your lobster, anything where Jamaicans cook, chances are it will taste nice as opposed to what we normally eat at England. So the food is definitely a plus for me, and of course the weather, like we all know and hate England weather, so just the ability to get up every morning, see the sunshine, you just feel like you're ready to take on the day, you want to bathe and put on clothes and look good, you're not in a house lock up and I run from the cold weather and feel depressed and all them things there. So yeah, definitely I think it was a good decision for me, and I'm enjoying it so far. How I will feel like 5-10 months down the line, I don't know, but for the time being I am definitely enjoying it. I feel like once I have money and a good place to be in Jamaica, like it's definitely worth it.
So, funny thing about that, I actually moved to Jamaica. Come see my backyard. Ooh. So these are my trees. We have mango trees. They'll be ready soon. We have, let me turn you around, banana trees, which I don't think there's any bananas in there. He picked them for us the other day. We have a lime tree. And we have some other fruits that I don't really know what they are. But yeah, more banana. Surprise!
3 misconceptions about living in Jamaica that I just want to quickly talk about. First of all, I saw where somebody commented and they were like, how do you deal with the power and water outages? Let me just say, utilities in general, yes, when there's a hurricane, there might be a power cut, but in general, I could not tell you the last time I had a power outage or like light gone in Jamaica. To me, that is not what is going on in the norm. Again, I'm just telling you about my Jamaica. The same thing like internet. People like to talk about first world internet. Can I just say on record that my internet in Jamaica is reliable and quicker than the internet here in London? Just saying. Second thing people like to say is that they think that it's super dangerous. I've spoken about this in another video. I'm not going to go on about this again, but yeah, it's not that dangerous, right? Like, I am not living in Kingston, word for my life. Third thing, that they think Jamaica is cheap. Babes, don't get me wrong, a trip to Coronation Market will definitely save you some money, but there is just, things aren't cheap. Things are not cheap like in Jamaica. And I'm not saying that nothing is cheap. Like, of course, things like services, like your nails, your hair, that's cheaper, but life is just not cheap in Jamaica in the way that also I feel like pre-COVID was definitely cheaper to post-COVID. And yes, you can probably say that about everywhere in the world, but it really hits me every time I go home. I'm like, how are people affording things? Because the price of my grocery bill is always just ridiculously high. And I think, let me just throw in one for a bonus. People think that Jamaica is just either like a ghetto or a luxury tourist destination where you're on an all-inclusive hotel on the beach. And I just want to say that there are places with sun that have real life going on, right? Like, we have jobs, we have things to do, and everybody's not just chilling, living Irish, smoking a spliff. Just saying, babes. There's real things going on.
Housing in Jamaica. This is a question I get all the time. Babes, I had to have people help me out, okay? Let's not sugarcoat it. Because the realtors, trash. If it wasn't for having friends and family in Jamaica, I truly don't even know how I would have found an apartment as quickly as I did. As a foreigner moving to Jamaica, most people are going to recommend you to find housing via a realtor, because in Jamaica I noticed that there is a lack there of like a website or like an online posting site, which I'm used to in the States, like apartments.com, Craigslist, things like that, like where you can just go online and just search for like apartments or houses for rent or things like that. Most people are recommended to go through a realtor. Personally, going through a realtor in Jamaica is exhausting because the realtors that I have met with and dealt with have been unprofessional, unreliable. Their communication is like really horrible. So this is my personal experience. Now, if there's any good realtors in Jamaica, please drop it in the comments. Please share it for people, because I have yet to find any that are good. For housing, I went through friends and family, and then they went through like word of mouth of other people who told them like what was available and things like that. If anybody has any better recommendations on how to find housing in Jamaica, please leave it in the comments.
Imagine stepping off the plane for the first time and everybody's black. Everywhere you look, everybody's black. The airport staff black. Security black. The bank tellers black. The cashier black. All shades of black, brown, caramel, light skin, dark skin. And to top it off, they sound like your parents. They sound like your grandparents. It's mad because you're in a new place, but everything sounds familiar. Everything feels familiar. Everything smells familiar. It's like you're in the Twilight Zone. Like you're experiencing deja vu. That's how I felt the first time when I went to Jamaica. Someone from the diaspora, it's the craziest feeling. Travel to a place that feels like home that you've never been before. I was so far from what I knew as home, but where I was felt like I was just at home. It reminded me of everything I knew. Music, the food, the language, things that people take for granted when you're already born into a society where everyone is just like you. The strangest feeling being the majority for the first time. Everywhere you go, everyone is just like you. Everywhere you go, everyone kind of looks like you, even though you know you're different. And they know you're different. There's still something just warm and comforting about going back home. If you are from the diaspora and you have never visited where your family are from, I implore you to do it. The automatic connection that you feel speaks more than 1,000 words. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't be weary and do the most and not apply common sense? No. But making connections, having experiences that connect you to your roots will make you richer than money ever can.
We got a shock we had when we just landed in Jamaica.
Part 2. Jamaicans are not walking by foot. They are driving with the car to everywhere, every place. In Kingston, it's so common. You have parking lot to every place.
Even if the party is like 100 meters, they're just
taking the car and driving
to the other party. Number 2, every Jamaican arrive with their own car to a place. So even if we're going 5 friends to a party, every person wants his own car because they don't want to be dependent on each other or to
influence
others
on their minds, or if they want to go early.
So everyone just come with their own car, even if they're living close to each other. And this was like really
so strange to us. Number 3, when a Jamaican man come into a party, he immediately go with his back against the wall and just observe the exit, observe the people.
Yeah, like standing like this, just looking at the entrance. Like, serious look, like no effing. If you want part 3, let us know.
So it's this video going around of a Jamaican man living in Jamaica that asks his cousin, I guess the girl live in UK. Me and her is actually friend on here. And I see where he asked her for some help to buy a phone because he's living in Jamaica and he said Hurricane Melissa damaged his phone or he lose his wallet or something like that. She volunteered to help him with the phone. I guess she said she was going to give him $100 US or £100, and she didn't give him a stamp time, but I guess she said she is going to get the money and then give it to him. But I guess at the time when he wanted the money, he did not get the money at that time, and he sent her a really disrespectful, distasteful, terrible voice message, like disrespectful. He was disrespecting her, even her parents. And what really make it crazy is the fact that he did not give her the money to put down, but because she's living in the US, that happen when you live in the US and you have family member in Jamaica who just stuck in their mindset and them ways, and because them think you sit on for money, and whenever them ask for something, they're supposed to get it, and they're not supposed to wait for you to give it to them, because you have it, you're supposed to give it to them when them ask. The audacity to disrespect you over your own things, not knowing where you go through to survive if you have money or not. My honest opinion to people who have family members like that live in Jamaica, once they start disrespecting you over your own things, or once they think that you have billions sitting down, and you cut them off, because them the family member that are going to drain your energy, and your own family member can pray for your own fast. So you might as well cut them off and branch off, because there is no way you can disrespect me for my things. But did you see the video? Her name is Dior on here. I think Dior, yeah. Let me know if you see the video.
When I tell people that I live in Jamaica, they think that I'm sipping margaritas on the beach every day. But the reality is completely different, because when you are a tourist, you go to that place and you travel as a tourist. You have a guide, you have an itinerary, you have excursions, everything planned. But when you're living in that country, you are not a tourist. You live there. I have a house I have to take care of. I have to cook 3 times. I have to do my job. And then the only time we are able to travel is during the weekends, when both of us, me and my husband, are free. So How do I tell people that it's not what it's look like, even though I am so close to the beach? Like before, I used to travel for 10-14 hours to get to a beautiful beach, but now I can get there in 30-40 minutes. But it's not every day that I go there.
Jamaica's a very classist society. And one of the things that I've learned since I've been living in Jamaica is that a lot of these people that you see driving these big BMWs, these big Mercedes Benz, and they have these big boats and they have this luxurious life, and when they go to the bar they're spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on liquor and paying for everyone. They don't have it. They really don't have it. They're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Sometimes when we look at these people that we idolize because of what we think they do have, they're struggling even worse than you are. They may earn a lot, but they also pay out a lot. And you probably have more money in your savings than they do. So stop looking at people and what they have and putting them up on this pedestal, because you have no idea the struggles they're going through. A lot of them don't have it. You have more money saved in your account than they do. And that's a blessing.
I don't know if it is some kind of spirit, some kind of generational curse. I can never be early for anything. Jamaican people, why are we always late? Caribbean people, yes, I am including you all, because I know I am not the only person who is forever late. I have a serious theory that Caribbean peoples struggle with being punctual for many things. Is not laziness, is not disrespect, it's not indiscipline. It is a legacy of colonialism. Because during slavery and even in the post-colonial era, our people's time was controlled by other people. That being late almost became some kind of cultural rebellion. That was their way of reclaiming some of their autonomy. And I feel like some of that mindset and some of that cultural practice has transcended to the present day. One could also argue that the tropical climate and the heat is just not conducive for rushing. For Caribbean people, we are big on chilling and liming, that interconnectedness and enjoying shared interests really do triumph paying attention to the time, most of the time. And I think it has just become a cultural practice where we just know that things will not necessarily start on time, or even if they start on time, we won't be there on time. We will be there maybe an hour late, sometimes 2 hours. But when you are living overseas, that cannot fly. Because I really want to ask a lot of the American people, where are you going on time? The function starts at 6 p.m. American people, why are you at the venue at 5:30 and 5:15? So that by the time I reach at 6:30, I cannot find any parking and there are no good seats left. A few things that I can say unequivocally about me and Caribbean people in large part. Soon come could mean midnight. Just know that soon come is a lifestyle. It's not an estimated time of arrival. Let me know why you think Jamaican people in particular, and by broader association, Caribbean people, honestly struggle with punctuality. Or is it just me? Is it more of a historical legacy, you think? Or is it just cultural practice, why we are wired this way?
Guys, you know, I see I'm gonna catch up the phone or something, but I'm gonna touch this now. From a coming, I touch it, but it's cold as fuck. Alright, let's do it. This is my feet, by the way.
I made a video yesterday saying how I moved from Guyana to Jamaica without knowing anyone, and I realized something. A lot of people want to do the same, not necessarily move to the country I moved to, but they want to, take a risk on themselves. And I find that a lot of us just are scared to deal with the consequences or the what if, which is why we don't do it. So let me tell you how I did it and what are the steps that I took. So I decided to go on Caribbean Jobs. It is still working, guys. Go on caribbeanjobs.com and select the country that you're looking to work in. I selected whichever country, and I put in also the area that I want to work in, my specialty, which was HR or legal. Once I did that and I got offered an interview and I passed my interview, I reached out to the company to know whether what is needed for the country, because not everything is usually online. To be honest, they weren't as prepared. They did not know. So I did my own research because I lived in Trinidad before, so I know that Caribbean territories also need things. And I know it's either work permit or a CSME certificate. Based on my research, I prefer the CSME because work permit, the company has to pay for it and it's just for a specific period. So once that is up, you have your own immigration rules. I chose to go with a CSME, which any of you that are living in the Caribbean territory that are a part of CARICOM, you can apply for it. That took me, well, it usually takes 6 weeks. It took me shorter because I told them that I'm flying and I really need it. Why I wanted my CSME was because once I have my CSME, I can enter that country on a one-way ticket. So I don't have to buy a return ticket to show that I'm going back to my island. The company also sent me my contract. So I was able to show that at the airport of arrival. So yeah, I was gonna sell off all my stuff, guys, I'm not gonna lie, but my little sister told me that she wanted to move out, so I left everything so that she didn't have to start from scratch. I fully support nepotism and all of that sort, so anything to give my people a starting life, I'm gonna give them. Never mind that. So I packed up everything. I flew first class, and the reason I flew first class is that you get, I think, 3 suitcases free and your carry-on luggage. So I packed up my stuff in literally 3 suitcases and I moved. When I arrived at the airport in Jamaica, I showed them my CSME, I showed them my contract, and they told me what the next steps are. Once they stamp you in, you have to go to the immigration office. For Jamaica, it was speaker. That was a whole lot of stress. Yeah, maybe I was hoping that my company would have sorted that out for me, but I had to sort it out. Because when I went to them, they told me, no, I have to go to the Ministry of Labor. The Ministry of Labor in Jamaica handles CSME stuff. It was just a little inconvenient, but you have to do what you have to do. I went there. What they do is verify that my country actually issued me that CSME certificate that is valid. Once they did, they gave me a letter to take to PICA to say yes, it's valid. And PICA gave me an unconditional landing stamp. So that means that basically I don't have any conditions to be in Jamaica. Like I could work, do whatever I want, come in, come and go as a regular citizen. A regular resident in the island. So it wasn't hard, to be honest. It wasn't, it's really and truly not that hard to do it, but it's all about building up that momentum to actually get it done. Like, don't be afraid. Wow, I was supposed to fix it my hair while I'm talking to y'all. What can go so? Yeah, so that was in 2022, and since then I got married, so I'm still living here. I thought I would have been out of here by now, I'm not gonna lie. Because there, it was just, let me tell you, do your research. Because the first thing I did when I got offered a job in Jamaica was to check to see what the cost of living would be like, and if it's gonna be okay with the salary and all of that. Well, I had my things on the side, right? But I just wanted to make sure that it's not going to kill me, because this is a single woman. But one of the things that shocked me, like coming from Guyana, you only pay NIS and income tax. When I came to Jamaica, I had to pay NIS, income tax, NHT, education tax. And I'm like, yo, am I getting free education? Why am I? Anyhow, you abide by the rules of the country that you're in. Yeah, so I had that. And then for my first, I think, 6 months on my job, the threshold did not apply to me for the island because I was not considered a resident as yet. So I was getting taxed straight. Like, there wasn't that threshold where, up to 100,000 no tax and over. They were taxing me straight. So that was a little very annoying, but we got over that. And since then, you know, God has blessed me and continues to bless me. I now have my beautiful, leave that baby girl, my wonderful husband, and a lovely family. So sometimes you just have to better yourself, take that chance, do your research, and things can work out for you as well. My God, don't do that, boo boo. So yeah, just do your research and just do it. Like, yeah, this little girl, just do it, guys. No makeup today because the sun hot. We know on the island the sun is hot, so we're not doing any makeup. Put little spritz on to hold down this wig. Yeah, that's a next story. That's a next story time. We're gonna talk about the service industry over here, because I found a good girl though. I found a good girl. See you guys.
So guys, hope we've all enjoyed and watched those foreigners as they share their experience being in Jamaica. Jamaica has been one of the favorite or one of the biggest Caribbean country that people are admiring to visit and being in. So these ladies have just let us know that whatever we are hearing about Jamaica, on the negative side or on the positive side, they have let us know. If you heard them very well, the positive side is the leading side, because the Jamaican has got the people with good heart, the welcoming, and the hospitality you get in Jamaica. It is just something you cannot argue about. So these foreigners have just shared the experience about them being in Jamaica, and the experience is awesome. We've all watched about, as they tell us about the experience being there, because you see, there is a lady who said that she was stuck on the road and she find it difficult for her to be rescued. But one of Jamaican came and rescued her, and he didn't ask for money. He was just a well-wisher. He helped him to fix. He helped her husband fix her puncture and repair her car, and he did not ask even a single coin. So you see, having such people with good-hearted is one of the best feeling that a person wants just to be there. Remember, they say, where you find peace, you make it a home. Yes, and you see these foreigners, many of them, they go there for tourist purpose. So when they reach there, it becomes, they just relax there. They get that peace of mind they want, and they get relaxed. When it comes to transportation, Jamaica has got the good transportation system, because in other countries you find you just have to wait for a taxi, you wait for a long time until you can be late. But here, the public service transportation, it provides the best services for their own citizen and the foreigners. When it comes to the tourist site, tourist section. Remember, tourists in Jamaica has become a major incoming or the majorly admirable part in Jamaica, because the government has invested in it so much, because they are getting a lot of money from the foreigners. So those public beaches where people visit on a weekend or when they are on a holiday, they really brings a lot of tax or a lot of money to the government. So that, you see, the government emphasizes on the tourist sector. So these foreigners, they say that when you want to have more than 10 friends, or when you want to visit a country where that you can be well received, you find that good food, just visit Jamaica. So this is something that to urge anyone who wanted to visit Jamaica, and you had the other part of the story that Jamaica is being bad, or Jamaica is being misunderstood. No, you just have to clear that in your mind and start packing your belongings and visit Jamaica, because we've heard from these different ladies as they share the experience that Jamaica has been so good to them. You see, even a person shares a lifetime that she has been in Jamaica. She moved from the US, where she used to pay high taxes. You know, comparing these West countries and Jamaica, Jamaica is much cheaper, because you have to pay for your mortgages, you have to pay for high car spare parts, you have to be higher earning. But here in Jamaica, as long as you have got that money that can sustain your needs, you are good to go. So these foreigners have just said that all praises goes to Jamaica, because it is not what they were told. It was a misconception. So Jamaica has been good to them. Their people has been good to them. The culture, from the culture to music, and to food, they have really enjoyed being in Jamaica. So it is that high time they have just to urge people to clear their mind that Jamaica is the safest place to be. And if you have that dream of visiting Jamaica, you have. Not forgetting, the Jamaica language is growing widely. The other time we saw their Bible being translated to Patois. The Patois language is one of the favorite language that everyone globally wants to learn it and wants to speak it. So as it goes stronger, or as it grows viral, people would wish again to visit where this language, the origin of this language, where it comes from. That's why you find Jamaica has got that influence globally, and people like visiting them. So Jamaica will remain and will be the best out of the rest. So guys, thank you for watching. That was all for now. Till next video, remember, if you haven't subscribed, remember to subscribe, share, like, and let's give this video a thumbs up. Till next video, God bless, one love.